Do you know how to walk in heels? Maybe you do. And if you do, that's great. Maybe you think you do. In which case, you're gonna break your ankles, so watch this video. And if you do, if you don't, that's okay. That's what this video is for. How to walk in heels. Now, I will say I'm quite experienced, in this field. I feel like it is a field of expertise. Shoes. These are literally the shoes I'm wearing right now. Okay, guys. I am a heels girly. I'm literally standing on a stool in platforming. See this? Heels. See those? Heels. I am a heels expert, so I'm going to teach you how to walk in them and how to just exist more comfortably in heels. Let's go. So first things first, you need to know the difference, okay? These heels are very advanced, okay? There are beginner heels, there are advanced heels. These are advanced heels. Why? Because the heel is very skinny, see that? And there is not very much support for your ankle, okay? You do not wear this. You see how skinny, tall, and little ankle support there is on this? You do not wear this if you are a beginner. I see so many people wearing these to like office or like for presentations when they don't know how to wear this. Do not wear this to start off. Instead, go with something like this. This is what I like to call a starter heel, a beginner heel, whatever. See how there is very little slope here? So even though it looks like this is tall, it really isn't because this is also thick. So there's a very small slope. It's a very thick heel, solid all the way through. And these are kind of worn out. So, I wear these all the time. But they're very worn out. This is a beginner heel. This is something that's going to be comfortable for you, okay? And if you really cannot get with something like this, start with like a platform tennis shoe, okay? A tennis shoe with a little bit of height on it. And work your way up to something like this. But remember, the thicker the heel, or even if it's like a wedge or something like that, that's filled like this all the way, the safer it will be for a beginner. Do not immediately go for a heel like this. Even if it is short and thick, if you do not know how to walk in heels, you will break your ankles. Go for one that is filled, like this one. And then eventually work your way to something like this. Okay? So, remember that. Ladies, the next bit, I feel like people, you really need to know this, but you might not. So many people genuinely do not understand this. Know your shoe size. Know your shoe size. Some people do not know their shoe size. It concerns me a little bit. It's like how some people don't know their phone numbers. Anyways, know your shoe size. Now you might be thinking, well, I do know my shoe size. I'm a size 8 or something like that. But the thing is, if you're always wearing tennis shoes, your size may vary. Number one, you need to know if you have wide feet, okay? If you have wider feet, you need a bigger shoe size or a shoe that is a whatever wide, okay? Wider shoe. If you have really slender feet, you need to know your shoe size and make sure that you get shoes meant for slender feet, okay? Now, if you are wearing something with a tougher, more stiff material, this one has a little bit of give to it. So it's okay if you don't fit them too well because it will stretch around your foot a little bit. But if you get a material that does not have any give to it, you need to make sure you know your size for that type of material, okay? Really, really tough materials. I'm talking like you see in Doc Martens. Those generally run narrow and small. So people always size up at least 1 to 1.5 shoe sizes to make sure that it fits. So let's say you're a size 8 and you want to get Doc Martens and you have wide feet, go for like a size 9 or even a 10 rather than going for your size 8 because otherwise it will not fit you. It will not fit you. So you need to know your shoe size for obviously regular shoes, but you need to know your shoe size for heels and for more tough material shoes. Because otherwise, if you don't, you're screwed. I'm sorry. Then you're going to have these shoes pinching on your feet, and because they're already tall, because your foot is already at this angle, you see how it's like sloped? Because your foot is already at this more unnatural position, it is going to be so painful to walk in these things, okay? So, know your shoe size, okay? Me personally, I'm like a size 9, maybe 10, depending on the shoe, depending on the brand, depending on the build, and I have wide feet. So I make sure to get shoes for that. But if I'm wearing a shoe with very, very little give, okay? A shoe with very little give in a tough material, I will go up to an 11. because otherwise they don't fit me. Remember that, okay? Remember that when you're picking your heels. Now, if you are going for heels for height, you still want to make sure that you get something simpler, okay? So, this is me at my regular height, this is me with the heels. That gives me about, I'd say, an inch or two. But, see, this is thick. So, whenever I wear it, I have better balance. You see? So, from one, very good balance. I can do this. You know, I can jump up and down real easy. See this? This is what you want to start with. You do not want to start with this, because let me show you. If you do not know how to walk in this, this is what you're gonna look like. You're gonna look like this, okay? See how these are very little? One thing I need y'all to remember as well, as you're walking in these, do not put yourself more in the toes than you need to. So many people walk like this in heels. That's how you get it. You wanna have good posture, okay? All the way up. You walk heel down or full flat foot. Don't walk like this. See this? See how the heel's lifting a little bit at the back? You don't want to do that. You want to walk like this. Flat foot. Okay? These heels are a tad small for me, so I would go for probably half a size or a size up. And so that's what you do. But see, you don't have very good balance on these because they're skinny. See, I can't do something like this without breaking my foot. If I trip, my ankle, dead, gone, buried, okay? So remember, go for a starter heel. Go for this instead of this to begin with. Now, let me show y'all how you can move up the ranks, if you will, in heel wearing. Alright, ladies, this is my heel collection. Minus these shoes. I borrowed these from my aunt for scientific purposes. I will not harm any of these heels in the making of this video, especially these ones, because these belong to my aunt. Okay? Great. So, if you are trying to wear heels, whether it be fashion choices just for funsies, for business professional settings, or business casual settings, where you need to look good and present yourself well, or just in school for like presentations, because I know for a lot of some of the advanced classes, the teachers will have you do that. I have the video for you. Okay, so you saw at the beginning, I gave you all a little bit of information, but this right here, the in-depth guide. From your right to your left, we have beginner heels to advanced heels. And I'm going to walk you through each of these and tell you how each one works and how you are going to slowly work your way up in the scale. We want to start with something like this. Pretty low boot, fill in right here. See, filled in heel, very thick with good ankle support. Okay? Or if you don't want to do this type, you can do a chunky tennis shoe. The idea is to get used to the height whilst not breaking your ankles. So many people hurt their ankle whilst they are wearing heels. Start with something like this to avoid that. Okay? Work with these for a little while. If you're a little bit used to a slightly higher shoe, this won't take you too long. If you're not used to it at all, you're always wearing flat shoes like sandals, it's gonna take you a little bit longer. But eventually, you can move up to these. Now, this still has a low filled-in heel, which is really good for under the foot support, but it has very little heel support. Okay, very little ankle support right here. So you want to work with something like this, or you want to work with something like this. Less underfoot support, still some because it's chunky heel and short, but less underfoot support, but more ankle support. Okay, and you want to work with heels like these two for a little while. Now, you can stay in this area and still be great for your business things and all of that, okay? But if you want to go higher, you can go higher. Now, I really love this brand. I cannot pronounce it, but I will show you the logo, okay? Great. You can Google image search. They have some really great shoes because they have grips. You see this bit makes the bottom more grippy, and it's really soft on the inside. Both of these pairs of shoes are by them, okay? There are also a lot of other brands, which I can show on the screen around me. Yay. Thank you, editing Amy. But those are the kinds of brands that are really good, really comfortable shoes. If you want to start with those shoes, because they are really nice and soft on the inside with good support regardless of whether you have light ankle support or a lot of ankle support like this. This is not by the brand, but these ones are really good. This is the brand. I've had these shoes for a long time, but you can read it. It's on the bottom, okay? Great. Then you move to a shoe like this. Light ankle support, light underfoot support. It is a steeper shoe with a thinner heel. Still fairly thick, but a thinner heel, steeper heel with less ankle support. Now, you can stay from here down and be great for your entire professional life. Trust me, okay? But if you want to go for more of the aesthetics, or you're an overachiever, or just you want to learn, please step over here with me, okay? So, if you are someone who is into alt fashion, goth fashion, or is just really into fashion with higher shoes, like platforms, okay, I'll put some on the screen here. If you are into that kind of shoe, definitely start with something like this, because otherwise you will break your feet. I have seen some people who will go for platforms that are completely flat across, that are like this, but they'll be this tall, they will be tripping over their feet, okay? You want to go for something like this, slight slope, because by here, you already know how to walk in heels. This really thick platform will give you that platform effect that you're looking for, while still being in a realm where you kind of understand how to walk in it, okay? This one has really good ankle support, really chunky, really thick, solid heel, okay? And overall, it's really thick over here. Or you can go with one that is thinner over here, really, again, thick, solid heel, but a higher slope, okay? This is the brand Gianni Bini. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But here you can see it on the bottom of the shoe. These are really good. I have owned other shoes by them in the past, and they're pretty good. And this one, I don't know if it's the same brand, but their initials just so happen to also be GB. I've also owned shoes by them in the past. Really good shoes overall. So if you want to look for something like this, definitely go for it. Now, if you are someone who wants to take risks and wants to do the more crazy, really fashionable, trendy heels, then you go for something like this. These, for example, there are heels that are similar to this, really tall, whether it be a skinny heel or a chunky heel, that do not have any ankle support. Do not wear this unless you are comfortable without having ankle support, or little to no ankle support with these itty bitty straps. Or you can go for a stiletto. Love a good stiletto, unless you can't walk in it. Do not walk in a stiletto if you do not know how to walk in a stiletto. They have very light ankle support, or none, depending on the stiletto you have, and the itty bitty skinny heels. One common mistake I've seen people make, they will wear a heel that is about this height, or even shorter, but it will have a stiletto heel, really itty bitty skinny, and they will be tripping, falling over, breaking their ankles. They'll be wondering why, because they chose a short heel, so they should be able to walk in. That is a mistake. Do not start with stilettos. Do not ever start with stilettos. If you do not know how to walk in heels, I repeat, do not start in stilettos. You will hurt yourself, okay? You will hurt yourself, okay? That being said, these are the different levels of heels. Now, a few common mistakes I see some people make, I'm going to demonstrate in these heels, okay? So, you put on your heel like this, okay? Cool, great, fun, fabulous. You've adjusted it to whatever. Mine is naturally adjusted to where I like it, so I'm just slipping these on. But you put on your heels, okay? Great. You're gonna go out into the world in your heels. So many people will make the mistake of walking more on their toes than they need to. Obviously, you are kind of on your toes because you are wearing heels. That being said, some people will walk like this in their heels. See, what makes you do that? That makes me lose balance. Instead, you want your heel to be like this. As you are walking, heel, middle, toe. Heel, middle, toe as you are walking. Okay, and obviously it is going to be smaller as you're walking because you're not walking that exaggerated, but just so that y'all understand, heel, middle, toe as you are walking in your heels, okay? Or at the very least, try going flat-footed. That being said, it does make your knees bend in a little bit of an awkward way, so I definitely suggest walking like this, okay? Another thing, do not bend your knees too much like this. Obviously, you do not want your knees to be locked straight. That is how you break your legs, okay? You want them to be loose in a more neutral position, something like this, okay? Something like this. And you walk, okay? Really important, okay? See? And you want to make sure you can balance in the heels, okay? Do not move up a level if you do not know how to balance in the heels. So, in that case, jump it. See this? I can jump and land very comfortably. I can stand on one foot very comfortably. You see that? I can do something like this while still having control of my body. I've distributed my weight well, and I've practiced, so I can just stand and be okay. All right? You do not want to move up to a heel like one of those until you are good with a heel like one of these, okay? You continue on, and you continue on, and you continue on, okay? Keep going like that, and eventually you'll be able to walk in shoes like these with ease, like all those people that you see online. They have practice, and you should also practice, okay? Anyways, that is how to walk in heels, ladies and gentlemen, and whoever is watching this. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, like the video, subscribe, and turn on the notifications for my next video. Post a lot of fashion and lifestyle and just overall school content and kind of everything, to be honest. I don't really have a niche. So if you find this interesting, definitely give me a follow. And you can go follow my other socials, which are linked in the description. I will see you guys next time. Love you.